Welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. Today is my great pleasure to have David O'Brien here from Stuhini. David, welcome.
Thanks so much, Chen. Always a pleasure.
Tell us about your story and the story of moly.
Well, we have a very large, sort of shovel-ready, advanced, road-accessible project that, under the former operator, actually funded right into construction. And of the 4 or 5 pure-play moly projects out there, ours was the only one that funded into construction. We bought it when it was cheap and inexpensive, and moly was less than $10. Probably got an option on it for $2.5 million in cash and shares. In the last year, we've completed the option. We now own it 100%, subject to a 1% royalty. We're excited. Molybdenum is, last year grew from a 609 million pound to a 630 million pound a year market. I'm told it'll be a $1 billion a year market by 2050. It's growing rapidly. It's a little bit, we need to teach investors more about it because it's the realm of the big steel companies. It does trade in the LME futures, and it's a big, dollar value. It's very big. Not like some of these rare earths and stuff. Like it's a very large market, but it's steel, right? It's steel additive, and that's a big challenge we have. But yeah.
Yeah, recently I saw the big move of uranium. Those small market, when demand pick up, the price just goes through the roof. Is there any way to play moly besides owning your stock?
Well, there's not that many choices in the moly sector. There are a couple other listed companies. Their market caps are notably higher than ours, and I believe our project's just as good. No, it's hard. I believe we offer incredible leverage on the commodity, especially given our embarrassingly low share price. We're also really excited. As I alluded, we have a second deposit. We staked some. We knew there was a placer drilled a moly occurrence 4 kilometers to the north. And when the land was dropped, we staked it ourselves, which didn't cost us much. And this year we're pretty excited because those are chip samples. Those are outcrop, mineralized outcrop. And placer drilled some interesting moly numbers, and these are up to a kilometer away from where they drilled. We have mineralized outcrops 900 meters apart. It's raw, and it's looks like the same system. It's just very close by. And even though we have a haul road right to our project, there's a logging road within 3 kilometers of this too. So.
Okay, how far is it from here?
4 kilometers.
4 kilometers
to the north. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So that could be connected, or
it could be. It's too early to say. But what's interesting, you look at Freeport and down in Colorado, they have Climax and Henderson and a couple others, and often in Highland Valley, these things, there's clusters. And we kind of had that idea already. It's pretty common, but we're just excited to follow up on it and see that it's real. And come by and look at our samples. It's beautiful samples. People have looked at that and go, wow, it reminds me of Henderson. Look at the samples. And the guys from Casey were saying, it was now Lobo Tree, where they're saying, well, you guys have some fantastic rock samples.
Oh, excellent. So do you plan to drill it? What's your plan for the new property nearby?
Well, the new property, we to further expand Ruby Creek, which is open for expansion, doesn't really make sense because it's already big and it's very advanced. With the difficult market conditions, do I really want to dilute? We want to, obviously, the first thing you do is geophysics. So we want to do some geophysics, and I think it'll just help. It better enhance us to find a partner. We've joined the International Moly Association, and we're making some good contacts, and I'll be at the AGM probably in Tokyo this year. We want to make sure we're ready to go too. We have a dialogue with about half a dozen companies. So that's where we think it'll really help with economies of scale. Even some of the big players, they look at, the old Ruby Creek was supposed to be 20,000 tons a day. I think our engineers said 30,000. That's a little small for the biggest companies in the world, but if there's another one nearby, it might really help.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So what's the biggest company in the world that interested in you? I mean,
I can't really say their name. It's not right to do that. Right. But they're the big players. And they're open-minded because they're like, yeah, it's an interesting space, and also we offer pretty good leverage, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like you got to go to your boardroom to write a $5 million check when you're making $1 billion a year, right? So we're looking for a quality strategic partner. It's the right one. Ironically, the former operator were going to build it themselves because it's such a big market cap. And back in the early 2000s, the credit facilities were available like they aren't now. They had a $700 million credit facility.
700.
Yeah.
Wow. What is your market cap right now?
$9 million. We have
you have a huge leverage.
Money in the bank too. We're probably a $7.5 million enterprise value.
All right. So, wow.
Yeah.
And then you run pretty mean. New York's like the lowest paid CEO I've seen.
Yeah, I know. I work for $2,000 a month, which is a little unrealistic, and I've actually received some criticism about that. But when I built this company, I've been an investor all my life, and I want to make it very investor friendly. a couple of years ago, my wife and I wrote $186,000 in checks. I do, my own hard money, and I took $24,000 salary. And I'm, as you know, a pretty astute investor, and I often might run into companies. Well, I own more shares than the CEO does, right? And also properly priced shares. Not, I don't want to get into it. I've done a lot of shareholders rights, but too often these shares are obtained quite an unscrupulous level, right?
Oh, good. So tell us, who are your biggest shareholder before?
Well, we have a 39% insider. The co-founder of our company, Barry Hanslett's a large shareholder. Eric Sprott's a very large shareholder. I'm a large shareholder. And just all of us don't work for a lot of money, and we have skin in the game, and we're all shareholders, right? So that's the way it's got to be, right? We believe in our project, right?
Right, believe the project, believe the moly, long-term moly price.
Well, not just that too. I think we've got some other very interesting projects that are very underappreciated. People talk about a nickel project and are quite astounded. The 165 meters of 0.32. The zinc project. I mean, Teck's got a big, large historical resource there, and you can see the extensions come onto our property, and we can't move forward without them, and they can't without us. But Teck's a very tough nut to crack, and we'll see what happens there. But again, we got that for nothing, and we were very value oriented. We don't chase stuff. We buy stuff when it's cheap and out of favor. That's how I invest too.
Right.
I always want to buy stuff that's, now everyone's complaining how bad the markets are. I'm salivating because there's never been more opportunity.
Right. So you look for cheap in the down market. Stuhini is one of those. Can you tell us how to reach you if they want to have more further questions?
Yeah, I'll always talk to any shareholder, any potential shareholder. You can just dobrien@stuhini.com, go to our website, my email, the phone number. I'm happy to go through a deck with anybody, go through a presentation, happy to meet you for a coffee in Vancouver. We tried traveling around. Now we're going to try, but no one knows in the US who we are. So we recently got our OTCQB enlisting, and now I want to sort of hit the US and sort of start telling our story because, Canadian investors are pretty blown up these days, and they're pretty depressed about the markets, which to me is a great opportunity. But the American investors have done very well, and I believe inflation's here to stay. And you look at the hard asset space, real estate's gone to the moon, these crazy tech stocks have gone to the moon, base metal is very cheap, and you can't print copper, you can't print moly, you can't print gold, right? And people are printing money like crazy right now.
Right.
And they want to protect yourselves. Right?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Those are very good points. So if you like moly space, and maybe with a little bit, you have other property, other metals, and looking for down to the earth, low burn rate, right? Low burn rate company, then look no further than Stuhini.
I really appreciate that, Chen. And I'm also, as I said, I'm honored that you cover us. I think you're the best newsletter writer out there. You're unbiased. And we need more of that out there. So I'm very honored.
Well, great. Thank you.